Object-oriented analysis and designing. Object-oriented concept. This is some object-oriented concept. Among this concept, today I'm going to explain class and object. Class consists with attributes and method. Attributes help to describe characteristics of the any entities. You can see data, attributes, and field state. Data, attributes, field state. Describe the characteristics. Describe the characteristics. And method. Method perform operations and perform object-to-object communication. For example, in the car class has car color, like a state, like a attributes, car name, and car ID. That are the car stated, car field, or car attributes. Same like, right? That is describe the characteristics. No? In the car class, car characteristics, car color, car name, car type, like this. After car has some operations like if we need to fill the oil, fill the gas, like this, right? And drive, how to drive the car, how to put the gear in the car, like this. Within the driving, we need to write some operation. We need to perform the operation like this. This is called method, right? Method in the car, right? That is a method is perform, given to support, given to help to communicate object within the object. Class and object. Class and object. We can discuss now what is the class and what is the object, right? Class is a category of group of things that have same attributes and same behaviors. Class is a description of the properties and behaviors which a collection of same type object can have. For example, in account class, if we are define, we can define when we are going to the create account class should be have account information, not only the other information. Only we need to write suitable same group of information. Account class, account name, account age, account type, account old account owner and age, like this. All the information for the account things. And we are not going to the insert people information in account class, right? After object is an instance of a class. Object is bundle of properties and behaviors. Object store its state in field and expose behaviors through the method. For example, in car class, in vehicle class, right? Vehicle has more qualities. Like a vehicle has attributes and things like this. Status, vehicle color. We can define in the vehicle class, vehicle color, vehicle name, and vehicle type. And also in the operation also method, we can define how to drive vehicle, what are the quality for vehicle, and what are the engine, how to gear has in vehicle, what are the engine type of the vehicle, like this. We can type more things in vehicle class. After, we can create an object to the vehicle class, car object, bus object, and lorry object, and bicycle object, like this. We can create a button in the car object should be have vehicle quality. Without I think car object does not have vehicle quality, this is not a car. For example, car object, it can't be the drive, this is not a vehicle. This means car should be, if we create when we create a car object to the vehicle class, this means vehicle class quality should be included car object. If we not included, this is not a car This is not a, this car object, not a vehicle class object. This is another class object. Should be. This means if we have some object, that should be the follow the suitable uh, class behaviors and attributes. This is a very important. This means this is a bundle of the properties and behavior. An object is store its state of the field and explore the behavior through method function. Other example and class and object. This is attributes field or variable. Age is attributes, right? In student class. After this is one of the class member method. Class member function is called class member function. One of the member function they define student in the student class is study method. And also this object name is animal and it has a study method and student age is 21. And we can get idea about that. What is the difference between class and object? Class user defined data type. Class is a user defined data type. Object is an instance of user defined data type. Class is a prototype or model. Object is a containing features. Class is a do not occupy memory. Object is a occupy memory. That case, object is occupy memory. This means that case it can be manipulated. But class cannot manipulate since it is not in memory. Right now, classes and object for a practical example. Classes and object. Very good example. This is a class. This is a class. How to write the class in C++? Classes. Class is a keyword. CLSS with simple characters after student. Student is a class name. We can write any other name class. Account class, lecturer class, teacher class, uh, car class, vehicle, like this. You can type in your requirement. You can write a class according to your requirement. You can write classes. Right? This is a student class. S is a capital. This is a normal concept. I think normally we are follow. If we are going to write a class, first character should be the capital. Object oriented concept. We are write a class, right? Class student. After start the class, very important that in here should be in here, not should be here is finish the class, right? You can see should be finish the class, end of quotation, without have error. We can define in the program, C++ program identify C++ compiler is identifying that if we are not put here is end of quotation, not finish the class. This means come to the errors. This means you should insert here end of quotation, end of the class, end of the class mark, and start within this class body. We can write class attributes and operations. This is a private two variables are defined. Under the private two variables are defined. Only these two variables can access only this class only. Only this one. We can't access to outside the class. Right. This is a public method. Right. Two method. Right. Under the public, write a two method. One method and other method. Read marks and print. This is a member function in class student class. One of the member function read mark, other member function print grade, right? This one some C++ small coding, right? You know, I think. After main method, without main we can't run the program. After the write the main method, this is a student class name. After create object, animal is object name. You can write any no object name, right? Obj, op, pa, like this. Anyway, student after student is mean class name after space object name. This is object name is animal. After to the object called method. Object dot read marks is a method name. If we write like this, call to the this method, right? After animal is object name dot print grade में other name. for the method. Call to this method. After get stage me stop my output. Stop. This is a class and object. This is a class. This is an object. To the class, we need to create an object. Why? Object is an instance of a class. After to the class, we can call to the object. Sorry, to that we can call class variable or class method. Classes and object. Other method, other way of the how to write a class. Member function defined outside the class. Member function defined outside the class. You can see in here, this is a member functions are defined inside the class. You can see here start. You can see here start. Sorry, here start. Here finish. No, here start, here finish. That the reason this class write member function inside the class, but here the member function defined outside the class. Member function defined outside the class, right? Binary scope resolution operator. Binary scope resolution operator like this. Ties member name to class name. Member name to class name. Member name to class name, right? Understand member name is like read mask to class name using to the scope resolution operator, right? There are mainly three purposes of scope resolution operator. If you are using this resolution operator, three purposes thing there to define member function of a class at outside the class. We can define member function in the class. After we can write to operation outside the class. Syntax, return type of the function, return type void or in like this. If we can, for example, we write a void after name of the class is student, void is student after a resolution operator after a read marks function name like this. Scope resolution operator help to uniquely identify function of a particular class. Right. Scope resolution operators help uniquely identify what is the function that function have in what class. We can identify using scope resolution. Different class can have member function with same name. Yes, different class sometime. For example, in vehicle class has park method, right? How that is describe that park method to describe how to park the vehicle. And car class also has uh, park method, right? That is describe how to park car, right? Difference difference performance have in this method, but same name, park method, but different class. This means scope resolution operator we can use park method, right? Class name, scope resolution after park method, park method. Park method has vehicle class. After other park method has other park method has same name, same name. Right? Other park method has car class. It's a vehicle class, car class. In this case, we know this park method has car class, this park method has vehicle class. We can identify different class can have member function with same class. This means we can identify what is the class owner, what is the method owner, right? What is the owner this method, right? Park method, what is the owner? This park method owner is a car class, this park method is a vehicle class. Like this we can identify. Right, you can see example, same like class name after student, right? Private two variables are defined after public member function are defined inside the class. After, you can see here start the class and here finish the class. In the class, not write method definition only, no right to find process, right? Only definition method. This means class to given to idea, you have two method like this, define only. After end class, here you can see after out of the class write two method. You can see one method. How to write? First return type, after class name, after scope resolution operator, after method name, right? After write class body, here body is normal C++ coding. After again return type, class name, scope resolution, after method name, after write. After same thing, student to the class name, to the create object, to the object called to method. This method is called to here and this method called to here, like this. The output. Constructor. Constructor is special member function. Constructor is a special member function. Constructor are special member function of any class which are invoked at the moment and instance of the class are created. Instance of the class are created. They are special function that have the same name as the class. That is the special member function. Very special member function. This is a create same as class name. For example, class name is a, constructor name is a. This means this call is a method name is a, class name is a. After constructor name is also a. Method name is also a. This one is called constructor. Have the same name as the class, same name as the class, and it may take argument. It may take argument. Sometimes if we can pass some argument inside the constructor, it cannot return value. Very important. Then constructor does not have return type, right? This means we are not writing here void doing. If we are write something void doing, this is a row errors, right? Only this means constructor does not have return type. Constructor. Two type of constructor there, right? Two type of constructor there. Default constructor. Default constructor means if we not pass any argument inside here, this is a called default constructor. Accept no parameters. And call if no user defined constructor. This means if we are when we create object in main method, automatically call constructor, not import call constructor. This is a automatically call. And when we are create object, call if no user defined constructor, right? Parameterized constructor. Parameterized constructor means it is a circle, right? You can see circle is a method name. This is a class name. Here also, this is a class name. This is a method name. Same as class name create a method. This is a construct. This means this is a called construct. This here also class name. Same as class name create some method. This is a constructor, but when someone is a pass argument or parameters, argument, somebody to call to argument, somebody call parameter, same name, right? It is called parameters constructor. Destructor, special member function. Destructor also is special member function having same name as class. It is having same name as class, process with this mark and no argument, right? Very important that constructor have argument. We can pass argument. This is a parameterized constructor there. This means it is can pass argument constructor, but deconstructor we write like this. No? Same class name is a, right? This is a constructor. This is a deconstructor, right? Deconstructor. This mark should be right. This is a but it can't pass the argument, right? If we pass the argument something in here, it's wrong. It's not a destructor. No return value, but constructor also no return value. This means we can write void doing like this in here, right? Destructor also we can write void doing like this. No return type. cannot be in overload. Very important that thing. Destructor can't be passed parameters or parameters. That the reason, no, that the reason it can't be the overload, right? That's the reason it can't be the past argument, no, right? This means it can't be the overload. Cannot be overload. Invoke before system is reclaim object memory, right? Right? Invoke. This mean in the in the instruction set in the RAM instruction set in the RAM. It has the memory, more memory there, memory addresses, memory allocations, right? More memory allocations there, right? In the class, we have create a constructor of the automatic generate object. Object is if we create when we create object, automatically call the constructor. If we create object, object is manipulate the memory and also constructor also, right? This means it is getting to the memory allocations in here, right? After if we create, if we are called to construct destructor, these memory allocations are clear. These two memory allocations are clear, right? After if we create like this, if we create object A, class A to the object is a B, we create a B object, automatically call the constructor also. Memory allocations are getting, right? After if you have called the destructor, this memory allocations also clear. These are the clear. After if you create a new object A.C, is a new object, it also can be assigned to the same place, right? Before we are called destructor clear, after we can assign also same. This means no memory loss. Use in resume memory for new object. We can use resume memory for the new object. This is for example in constructor and destructor, right? I use string.h, you know, pony.h, and I use them see out scene purpose. If we need to use see out and see in without use pony.h, IO stream header file, we can't use see out and see in. And get ch we can't use without pony.h. That the reason use these two header file pony.h you need to use get ch. Why I need to stop my output? That's the reason I use get ch. And this is not a programming part, right? Pony.h also not a program. I need to use this header file and this method to stop my output, right? This is a class and class name is a test, right? And public method there, test and test. But very important that this is a class name test. To the class name write some method, right? Member function. To the class name write some member function that is a called constructor. To the class name write some member function that is a called constructor or destructor, but this is a destructor, this mark is there. That's the reason, right? Constructor and destructor. And constructor body is output see out, constructor invoke. And destructor body is write output, destructor invoke. After this is a create, here is a create global object. If the create object automatically call constructor, that reason output come, right? This how the test is OOAD create, automatically call the constructor and constructor given to output or that out, right? After main method, if you come the main method, see, normally this output come main beginning. Now main beginning after again call new object test to the class. You can see this is a class name, this object, right? To the class create object OOAD created. When you create object, this time is called automatically called the constructor. This output come. After this output come to the normally, you know. After again to the class name create a new object OOAD2. Just create object. When I create object, just again call constructor, right? After come constructor invoke, this output come. After start mean inner start, after inner block beginning. After normally this output also come. After again test class name, again create new object obj3. If the create object again constructor is verb, right? After inner block end, after inner block end, this output also come. After main class, but very important that this stop no start, you can see stop, the stop deconstructor destructor is verb. After pass this output, very important that destructor invoke before the system reclaim object's memory. Use in resum memory for new object. Invoke before system reclaim object memory. Right? This is the case. Right? Destructor is a call. After this output come, after finish here, destructor call after come to the here main method close. After very important that after program is stop, after these two output you can't see in your console, right? Understand? You can't see this two output in your console output. After you run the program, you can see only this this output only. These two lines you can't see. After you can enter your console, you can see this output and close your console. But this is how to come these two output? You can see first create obj1 of this output and this object you are create come to the this output. After obj1, after obj2, in here they are created, right? Obj1 after obj2 object created in here, right? Before they start this session, right? Understand? Obj2 after come to this this structure invoke, right? T is two objects. Understand? I will explain in practically how to see this output. After enter in end of the line, no, we can't see these two lines. After type enter, we can see this output. Right? I show you. Right? You can read. I think this program how to work. Right? You can read these lines. The object one has global scope. Hence, its constructor is executed before the execution of the main beginning. The object 2 has function scope, hence its constructor is executed after the main beginning. You can read the after pointer. Very important that pointer is a variable that store the memory address. Pointer are used to store the addresses of other variable or memory items. Pointer are very useful for another type of parameter passing, usually referred to as pass by address, right? Memory allocation, which hold the address of another memory location variable. Pointer is very important that if we can pointers are using, we can quickly access memory allocations. That's the reason we are using pointer. Pointers, this is an advantage, and we can assign dynamically memory allocation using pointers. All right. Now you can see I can show you this. I can explain this one to int variable 10, right? Int variable 10 means this is normal variable definition. If we pass this 10, this variable, right? You know, I think this like this is var fill the 10. This variable 10. This is var variable address, right? This is var variable address. After, if I define pointer variable, right? Integer pointer variable. This means after this mark is n mark var mean var variable address. Come to the here. Var variable address assigned to the pointer variable address. pointer variable address. This means that address going to the here. You can see, right? 4C is assigned to the here. If I assign this value, automatically P is equal to 10. After P pointer variable value assigned to the 10, like this means 10 is assigned to the pointer variable. Other thing, this is A is a class name, right? This is a pointer object variable, and new A is a constructor call to the array mark. This is first time. One time call to constructor. Dynamic memory allocation for object. We can dynamically memory allocation using this concept. For example, this pointers, very good example. You should understand this clearly, right? This is a PTR is a pointer variable, right? Integer pointer object variable. And cout PTR mean it's passed to PTR mean here's the pointer variable definition is cout PTR mean pass PTR address. You can see this is a PTR address, right? After we assign for value for PTR pointer variable object variable to assign for. This means after pass this value mean pass 4, right? 4 is output and output this value. Now is PTR star PTR mean that PTR star PTR equal 4 pass 4, right? After delete PTR mean clear PTR, right? Clear PTR mean only clear value, not clear address, right? After clear PTR given to the PTR value output, right? Now PTR pointer variable value output. Now assign for PTR after PTR does not have value, but output is count. What is this output? This output is 4258804 like this. This value is PTR address value, right? PTR at default PTR address. We are not define. Sometimes we are define some variable not assigned to like array, right? You can see you can check in array, right? If you are define array and if you are not assigned to value in array, after you can use for loop and get output. This 0, 1, 2, 3. Try to get output this not assign value in array. Try to get the output using for loop. You can see what is the output. Like this numbers come, right? Array also a set of memory allocation, right? It has also memory allocation. If memory allocation has default value, right? Without we are not assigned to value, it has also default value. Like this is clear mean no value come to the default value, right? After cout PTR, after cout output PTR pointer variable address, same address output. You can see after assign 45. After new value we can assign. The clear after we can assign new value. This value output. You can see here this value output. It's a very important thing. Like this. Classes do not occupy the memory, but object is occupy the memory. That case can manipulate, but can't be manipulated. But classes not occupy the memory. That's the reason. Can't. No. Object is getting the memory allocations. No. In this case, we can. This is one of the object getting to memory spaces. No. We can move to other places to this object, right? For example, to the object, no, we can link list, no, assign this address to here, no, we can connect to this for linked list like this. Pointers. Other example for the constructor is class A, class name is A, to the same class name create object, password create a method. This is a call constructor. To the class name create other method, but this mark also, this is called the destructor and small method, right? And this is the main method. A dot object. A is a class name. Class name create object. To the when the create object automatically call the constructor. That case construct output come, right? After object dot call this destructor, which means that output, this output come, and here come to the that output in here, you see, right? That's the reason. After end of the line, the output come, we can check, right? Like this, we can get output and finish. I can show you how to run the constructor output in C++. You can see my program, right? This is a name, is a test constructor, right? I get the CMD, the share, this one. You can see my CMD, right? I go there, CD. Sorry, I type dir. You can see now. Here after, check my drive. One drive, right? CD, one drive, CD, desktop, CD, C++. After I can run dir test. I need to run test t st test constructor constructor.txt. You can see my output constructor invoke, right? Same I explained to you in presentation. Same class constructor invoke, constructor invoke. I create a obj1, this object, right? To the this object, this output come. After create this object obj2, after main begin main, this output come. After to the object create this object to the class name. After again construct output come. After inner block output come. After obj3 object 3 so this construct output come. After block is finished, this output come. After you can see this close here, there close here, now this output come, right? After main block is stopped, main block is end, this output come, right? You can see my presentation after, right? 1 2 3 4 like this output. But other constructor destructor, this destructor node is destructor node mean two lines output need to come. But how to show? If we can enter, check this one, enter, and we can enter. After enter, you can see destructor invoke. This is the program's end. Other two object are the work. The two object are the work. To working object 1 and object 2, right? Share my presentation. You can see, right? This is object. To this object, this line come. This is automatically this object is closed here, right? After this object 2 is this object is closed. This constructor come, right? That's the reason this structure invoke is come to, right? You can, I think this is we can't run in C++. We can't see this case. I run this exe and command line, right? I think now I think you have good knowledge, a good idea about my lesson. Okay, thank you for listening.